Okay, so evaluate the integral. Let's actually do one of these now. We have the integral of 5x squared plus 20x plus 6 all over x cubed plus 2x squared plus x. Now again, if the degree of the numerator is greater than the degree of the denominator, I would divide. But in this case, it's not. So we're going to use partial fraction decomposition to help. First, we need to factor the denominator. So I know that the x cubed plus 2x squared plus x has a greatest common factor of x. We'll be left with x squared plus 2x plus 1. And then this part here will factor into x plus 1 squared. And so what we're going to do is we're going to say that the integral of 5x squared plus 20x plus 6, I'm going to go ahead and write that as over x times x plus 1 squared dx. That's what we're actually going to do, and we're going to now use partial fraction decomposition. So we have our 5x squared plus 20x plus 6 all over x times x plus 1 squared. And so what I'm seeing here is I see a linear factor of x, so I write an a over x, and then I see a repeated linear factor. And so what we need is we need another constant divided by x plus 1, and then we need another constant divided by the x plus 1 squared. And again, there's x plus 1 and x plus 1 squared because it's repeated. You don't do b over x plus 1 plus c over x plus 1. You do the b over x plus 1 and then the c over x plus 1 squared. Very, very important. Now what we'll do is multiply by the least common denominator, which in this case is just written right over here, x times x plus 1 squared. Now, all the way over here, I know that this and the x times x plus 1 squared in the denominator here will reduce. We'll be left with 5x squared plus 20x plus 6. That's all that's left over. Here and here are going to reduce, equals a, then this x and that x reduce. We'll be left with x plus 1 squared. That's from right here. Distribute again, we have plus b. One of the x plus 1 factors reduces, so we're left with x times x plus 1. And then distribute here, the x plus 1 squares reduce, and we're left with c times x. Now it's time to pick convenient values for x. First one I see is going to be a -1. Now when you do this, you also have to substitute over here because it's any place you see an x. And so we'll have 5 times -1 squared is just going to be 5 times 1, plus 20 times -1, plus 6 equals. Now, substituting in -1 here, we'll have a times 0 plus b times -1 times 0 plus c times -1. So we have 5 minus 20 plus 6. This is gone, that's gone, equals -c. And so 5 minus 20 is -15. -15 plus 6 is -9 equals -c. And so c is equal to 9. I'm going to make this a little bit smaller now so I have some room to work. Now I'm going to choose another convenient value for x. Here and here, x can be 0. And so we'll have 5 times 0 squared plus 20 times 0. That's just going to be 0. All that's left on the left-hand side is 6 equals a times 0 plus 1 squared is 1. and then plus b times 0 times 1 plus c times 0. So that's gone, and so all we have is that 6 is A. And we're pretty happy about that. Now, unfortunately for us, that was the last convenient value for x. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and substitute my a equals 6 and c equals 9 back into my equation. We'll have 5x squared plus 20x plus 6 equals a, we said, was 6 times x plus 1 squared plus, we do not know b yet, so bx times x plus 1, and we know c was 9. And so now what we'll do is, since I still need b, I'm just going to go ahead and pick any other value of x. I'm not going to pick a huge number because I don't want to do a whole lot of arithmetic. But we're going to pick a value for x, and that's just going to leave us one unknown, which would be b. So I'm going to choose x equals just positive 1. So we'll have 5 times 1 squared is going to be 5, plus 20 times 1 is 20, plus 6 is equal to 6 times 1 plus 1 is 2 squared, plus b times 1 plus 1 plus 1, or times 1 plus 1, plus 9 times 1. And so 5, 20, and 6 make a 31, is 4 times 6, 24, plus 2b, plus 9. 24 and 9 is 33. Subtract that, you're going to get negative 2 equals 2b. And so b is negative 1. Now I'm going to come back, okay, to this part right here. I meant to highlight. And so I'm going to make everything a little bit smaller again, just so I have room, just so I have some room to work. Very small. There it is. Put that over here. That's all my work. And so what we can say is that the integral of 5x squared plus 20x plus 6 all over the x times x plus 1 squared dx. Now we said that was equal to a over x, but a in this case was 6. We said plus b over x plus 1, but b was negative 1. And then plus c over x plus 1 squared, but we got c to be 9. And then we have our dx. So we are going to integrate all of that. So now I'll just integrate each one individually. The first one, I'll pull out a 6. It's going to be the integral of 1 over x dx. Here I'll pull out a negative 1, the integral of 1 over x plus 1 dx. And here I'll pull out a 9, integral of 1 over x plus 1 squared dx. This part, we're going to get 6 times the natural log of x. Technically the absolute value of x. We're going to assume x is positive here. No, we're not. There it is. Here, we're going to end up, after a u substitution, with the natural log of x plus 1. So minus the natural log of the absolute value of x plus 1. Here, this is not a natural log because of the square, so I'm just going to let u equal x plus 1. du then is dx. So this is going to get written as 9 times the integral of 1 over u squared du, which is just 9 times the integral of u to the negative second du. Add 1 and divide, so we'll end up with minus 9 times 1 over u, which is, in this case, we said x plus 1. And then we have plus c. And that's our final answer there. Now you might see it, okay, you might see this written as 1 log. All right, another, if it's a multiple choice test, they might bring their 6 up here. So it'd be the natural log of the absolute value of x to the 6th minus the natural log of the absolute value of x plus 1 minus 9 over x plus 1 plus c. And then they're saying, okay, they're going to use a log rule, natural log x to the 6th all over x plus 1, because subtraction turns into division, and then minus 9 over x plus 1 plus c. So just be able to match your answer with a multiple choice answer.
If staff or Mr. Wu, please call the main office. Mr. Wu, please call 3959.